Welcome, everyone. Take a few deep breaths if you would like to. It's 248, which is the 2 of the High Priestess. The 48 is the 8 of Cups, walking away and going within, leaving those old emotions behind. A quick meditation that you could use is I am the tree of white light, exuding my light as my roots envelop me in the violet flame. My branches expand out into the emerald leaves of light and magenta pink flowers that blossom under the golden sun of love light for everyone. So it is. Okay, so I've been posting, it's Evelyn here, for those of you who don't know me. We are going to do this twin flame read on the table today. We're starting back on the 18th to catch up through today is the 30th. And I don't know if I'm going to have time, but if I do, there's a few more messages from December I still haven't gotten to. So we'll see about that. But we're going to start on the 18th. It's very interesting because in my mother's message that came through for me last night that I posted on Instagram, it's on Instagram, TikTok, and my Facebook page for Twin Flames 3344. I've been doing a lot of my visual messages that come up for me on those platforms to get them out right away. So I do encourage you to go look at them because they are part of my messages. I just don't want to be redundant and post them over there and then go over all of them here as well. So today is the 30th of January. Wow, January's gone already. And I found it very interesting as I turned to January 18th where I needed to start today because last night my mother's message, Himiko came in again. And I had asked to talk to Sophia and Himiko, but I'd done this last night and the night before. And the night before, yesterday's message was definitely more Sophia. And I didn't even realize it was Himiko until I was posting the message. And she literally came through to give me more clarity on what the message was. And it's Queen Himiko. She's a Japanese princess. I think she's from about 300 AD. And she was not married. And she had about 1,000 women that she had in her castle. And I love her energy because she's very much, she doesn't want to be called Queen Himiko. She likes the Princess Himiko, which came up on her last message because it's the child in her. And she really brings through these beautiful, profound messages. So I encourage you to look at that message that I did post today. But again, she was coming through now when I went into my inner child to see if there was a message from her today and if she wanted to participate. She was like jumping up and down for joy, an excited child, really excited because Himiko's here today. And she was literally jumping up and down like mimicking, I was getting like a pony, like she's up like a pony up on their hind legs jumping around. And that was what my inner child was doing. She was really excited. And that was that energy of what it was like. She always expresses her castle as like it's Nara in Japan, this sacred place, this beautiful place, a garden, she calls it. And it's always through the eyes of a child. That's her perspective. And Spirit's connecting with me. So I did want to pull from this deck. I haven't used it much yet, so I don't know it very well. But it is the Modern Nirvana Oracle. And let's see, it's a lot of shapes. So let's see what comes up for us today. We'll roll the die as well. So the first message will be the read on the table, so we'll get that done first. But there's at least 4 other messages of the day. So I still have a lot to get to, some really profound messages coming through, as usual. And I also found it interesting to come back to this date on the 18th, because I'm going to call her Miko, because I have a hard time with Himiko coming through my mouth. So she said Miko is fine. So I'm going to call her Miko. And on the 18th, I had noted that night before I had done clearing on myself with her. So it's interesting we came back to that same date that she came through. And I was getting what I removed when I cleared with her was something buried deep within the intestines. It was very interesting. And chestnuts came through as well. Oh, interesting, because that could reference, I was visualizing chestnuts literally, but there's the reference to the chest area, and it was the thoracic cavity. So the intestines and the thoracic areas. Okay, so let's see what comes up from the Modern Nirvana Oracle. For you guys, for the best and highest good of all is concerned. They're a little stiff still, so let's see what comes up. The whole deck is falling down. Still stiff. This way better. Oh, there we go. So a couple cards, more than a couple cards came up, but we'll look at them. Let's see. The bottom of the deck is greatness. Okay. And there we have the peacock, and that I just posted from when I was in Costa Rica today, a little video clip of beautiful sun in Costa Rica. And this very much reminded me of that because there are peacocks that walk around the resort, and they're beautiful. Yeah. So this is this energy coming up of greatness. And again, Miko's garden. So the cards that came out here, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Okay, so first emptiness came up. To see if the swirl energy is bringing up anything for you. I just want to undo the metal rods there and pull them out into a straight line. And notice if it was pulled out to a straight line, we have the circle on one end and the straight line or the ending at the other end. So, and I'm getting the energy of Hydra. Okay, the Hydra snake and the emptiness, which because this year we just went into the year of the wood snake, and it's a feminine energy. And I'm relating to it very much because it's the groundedness of the snake, but the snake also lies right next to Virgo, which is my sun sign. And there's this energy of the word I'm getting is home, actually. Discernment here. So with your eye, a careful eye, as we have pots, vases, and this one's upside down, but these two are right side up. And here's I'm getting like the yellow brick road, except it's like the black snake. Very interesting. And her eye, right? Maybe this isn't a human eye, right? It's a projection here that's being projected out from your own eye, and the authentic expression of your own eye. And this also reminds me of like a queen or princess, you know, like Cleopatra, who would wear their makeup that way. We have harmony as well. And this is reminding me, it's not the same stone, but it's reminding me of this stone. And this is from, I'm blanking out on the name, the mountain in Northern California, the big one. I'm just blanking out on the name. For those of you who don't know me, in 16, I was jogging and I got hit by a car. So my memory's mostly fine, but it is worse than it was before as far as recalling. Like all of a sudden I won't be able to remember like the New Orleans or something simple like that. So just so you're aware. Okay. So we have all these energies. This looks like a backward number 4 as well, which I've been focusing on a lot recently. And the 4 is the crossroads. and this is going the other direction. And also notice the 4 is pi, right? The P is the reflection of the 4 in pi, right? So 3.14 reflected the other way literally writes out the word pi. That's coming up as well. And so we have this emptiness of hollowing yourself, right? Emptying yourself so that source can work through you with a discerning eye, and your authentic expression, your mark is what I'm getting, of harmony, of harmonization, which I was also doing. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I was doing last night with myself. And then resolution. And this looks like somebody at a funeral service. That's the first thing I was getting, although that may not be what it is. I'm getting, oh, interesting. It's actually reminding me of someone I know who I was just thinking about, who lives in Hawaii now. And I just made a trip to Hawaii. Resolution. And I'm getting like a New Year's resolution as opposed to the solving of a problem. Harmonic resolution. Right? Resolution is also like a convergence. And it's like saying goodbye to the old self. That's the veil. Right? The veil of illusion. I'm getting this pink picture is the veil. All right? This is someone looking through this pink veil. Look at that. It's really cool. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to read at least this one to see what else comes up with this. So again, with the underlying energy of, and spirits connecting with me, this greatness. And actually Cleopatra may be coming up here as well. Of greatness, of queens and empresses, and those who have lost. And I'm getting this is maybe a specific message for someone also, someone who's lost their hair. And the queens are sending a message to you of how beautiful you are. Look how beautiful you are. That's what I'm getting. Like, be proud of your head, if that's what it is. So obviously that's going to be a specific message. All right, let's see the emptiness and see what that says. The wake. Interesting, right? At the wake of who you used to be, waking to who you are, who you've always been. All right, emptiness. This book is very stiff. Sorry about that. Empty. There it is. Okay, emptiness. We mold clay into a pot, but it's the emptiness inside that makes the vessel useful. We mold clay into a pot, but it's the emptiness inside that makes the vessel useful. How can we even remotely begin to fathom emptiness, a space free of judgment, sensory stimulation, and extrapolations of what is? Simply contemplating emptiness opens a space that can be filled with thoughts, ideas, and calculations of what the void contains. To free the mind from all projection and find the usefulness in emptiness's infinite potential, we must contemplate the value that can be found in vacancy by entering the void. Right? Again, it's that energy of not waiting for it to happen to do something, but doing it so that it can happen. Right? Taking that first step so that the universe can take over for you. Let us try a breathing exercise so that we can connect to this space as we reconcile duality with every inhale and exhale and find a sacred connection to present moment awareness. Close your eyes and take note of any sensations you may currently be feeling in your body, heart, and mind. Acknowledge any thoughts that may be present inside and say in your mind's eye, I release, I relax, I let go. Step 2, with every inhale, visualize a bright white light clearing away all thoughts, clearing away all judgment, and clearing away all obscurations of the mind as the light radiates and emanates through every cell of your body and every fiber of your being. With every exhale, let go of any heaviness, any doubt, any fear, releasing darkness and density, allowing them to absorb back into the cosmos, imagining that the darkness is transformed into beauty and its power is fueling space to hold billions and billions of stars. Step 3, continue this breathing pattern until you feel all sense of self, identity, and perception dissolve into dark matter, silent, dazzling darkness, and become enraptured in the appreciation of emptiness as the container, which holds the potential for all creation. Step 4, float in this emptiness and allow this energy to defragment all subconscious clutter as your thoughts organize on their own without force or effort, only beautiful empty space organizing for you without any resistance. And step 5, open your eyes and take note of any feelings, sensations, or downloads you may have received while holding these visions of emptiness. Did you find a resolution or revelation? Record any insight you may have received and see how it may present itself on your path today. And the initials are JS. That's the author. The mantra is, my mind is an open door to empty space. Where there were once thoughts, only the elegance of stillness remains. Okay. So, and that's the first time I've ever read from that book. It's the first time. Okay. I really don't know anything about this book yet. Very interesting, though. So that message was very in line with what I was going to tell you about, what I did with myself last night. So I did my white tree of light that I just done for you. And then I was going to just do a chakra review, like for my feet, and go through and see what's coming up in my body. And I was really, really connected last night. And I went to my heart first. And it was like a team sport, you know, like the football teams huddle before the game to inspire each other. So going to your heart and talking to all the cells in your body as your team, right? Say, we're in the heart now, and we're going to go out to the body, and we're going to see what's going on. If anyone out there needs help, everyone's going to help each other, okay? It's like all for one, one for all type of energy. And then I went to my feet, and anything that you feel, right? Something different on one side than the other, or something that may feel weird on both sides, and be present of that. And if you do note something that needs help, then ask all the other cells to come help them out, right? Whoever's most adept at that particular thing to help out. And just slowly move up the body, finding where there may be areas that need help, that the others can come in. So, and if you're not sure about something, it doesn't really matter. Ask them. For example, if you pick up on, like, just as an example, if you pick up on the pancreas, but it's not in the place that the pancreas would normally be, that's okay. Ask why the cells of the pancreas are in that location. There may be a reason for it, or you're getting to the bottom of something as to why there's any issues at all. So just go with it and ask your cells. So I found that a really good experience last night. Okay, so I just want to look at these cards one more time because I'm really feeling them. All right, so empty yourself as the snake may be twisted up in sharp knots. Right? Snake doesn't usually have sharp corners. There may be some tricky angles, right, that you need to unfold. As the snake year has just begun, and there are some things you need to fill and some things you need to empty, and some things you just need to observe. As you're seeing through this veil and the number 4 with authentic expression of who you are. I'm getting Cleopatra again, like I can't put the cards together that way, but I would insert her eye into this corner here, like that. So this triangle is overlapping over this, but it goes over her eye like this. And so that would be the top. And then this would be on her right side. So this masculine side of obviously her. Discerning from your authentic place, harmonic resolution. Right? Because here you're seeing it close up. And here you're distancing yourself to see the whole picture, the resolution. Here's the details, but then step back and see the whole picture, right? Because you don't know in this picture, this is what's actually going on. So see both perspectives and then just observe. Okay, I really want to read all of them. That was good. Okay, so let's start with the read on the table. I have a picture of this one. So this is the read on the table. I have the Ascension deck, or excuse me, the SIRIAN Starseed deck are the big cards, and then the Rider-Waite Mini are the clarifiers. Sorry, I'm getting tangled up here. So this was on the 18th. I just want to check real quick if there was anything right above it that needs to come into it. No. Okay. So this, on the 18th of January, I had cut this deck at 11:37, which is Justice and the King of Cups. And I finished clarifying at 11:54, which is Justice and the Page of Swords. Right? The King of Cups is about unconditional love, and the Page of Swords is about the message. So it's about, right, that message coming from the man of unconditional love, or the master of unconditional love. And again, we have 11, so Libra is coming up with that. We have major arcana as the Starseed, which is the Fool, abundance, which is the Empress, solar deity, the sun, of course, ascension is the world. Yeah, the ascension card's over here. And then indigo. Indigo. It is indigo here. That looks like the night. Let me just make sure that's correct. Yeah, okay. So it ends up with the indigo card. And then we also have major arcana here in the extra cards I pull. We have the transition or death card. This is the strength card, which is like the lion jumping through the ring of fire, or the tiger rather, the white tiger actually. And then the strength card, then the lovers card is right here. So you can't see that, which is a rainbow lovers card. And then we have four cups, one pentacle, and one wand in the read. So 411 was coming up, so perhaps important information there. The Queen of Cups, Page of Cups, and Page of Wands were the main characters. And then prior to the read, the King of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles. So it seems like two families, one a single masculine with a child, and then a single feminine with two children, perhaps. And then the numbers here, we only had double tens today, which is that high vibration. Moving into the next cycle. 10-10, begin again. The number 8 stood on its own here. It's been coming up a lot as the infinity, of course, and the strength card, and manifesting dreams. Also, in a lesser sense, 3-4-5 came up, representing the 3D 45D cycle we've been experiencing. And we've been going into the 4-5-6 energy. And then 1 is there too, but they're all single digits. And 8 is the most significant, along with the 10-10. The code line here is all about 10, 8, and 10. Oh, very interesting. I just posted it wasn't my Himiko message from last night, but the message the night before started. The first thing I visualized, I don't always do a visualization when I translate mother's messages. I'll just get the verbal energy and I'll translate it. But I did a visualization that night prior to the message. And the first thing I saw was 8 and then 10, which is Kai. And that's what's coming up here, 10, 8, and then 10 again. And which adds up to 28, which is the Two of Wands or twin flame energy. And the Two of Wands is about choosing a path. The math comes up in this headline, as well as the Infinite Mother. The Infinite Mother whale specifically. So destined of the sea, or to see the I am. The student of the wise one, the page of the queen, of the seawater of I. And again, the primordial seas have been coming up a lot recently too. Of the whispering bench, the seawater I am. Not walking away from heavenly indigo. The energy of the say whale, I'm not sure how say in Wales is pronounced, but it also means 6. The magic, the infinite mother whale. So 10 of the sea, page of the queen, right? Student of the queen. The magic, the infinite magic of nature. Nature's origin point, of ancestors, of the 6, which is the family. It is the Lover's card, but 6, the number, is about family, love. The origin point, student of the wise one, of she, or the city, of transformation. I was getting, and then she is SHI, which would be very a Japanese thing, right? And I was getting City of Angels. And Nara comes up again. Of the mold. And again, you're right, we're supposed to be made out of clay. And the 8 of Cups. The English ite of T's, point after the stamp. The TC's point member. And then the quote-unquote 10 in was coming up. And 10 is that high vibration. And 10 in was also coming up, of the T's point member. And Himiko talked about the people as members of belonging to a group in my message today. And at 12:12, when I was doing this message on the 18th, the geese were flying by, and I woke up early this morning and realized I hadn't taken my trash out, so I got up real quick to run the trash out to the curb, and the geese were out there in formation, actually flying north, which was interesting. The infinite magic of the nature of the ancestor point of she, of the English mold, and the T's of the S point, indigo. The ghost is coming up here, and the good half of the tree, right, the Holy Ghost. The say whale, behold, to be, exist, and become. The 6 of his, hers, its, and theirs. And the number 7 here, to know and find out. And oh dear. And from Japanese, which Himiko is, to do, cause, reason, fault, holy, sacred, a saint. Refined, sake. Detailed, conscientious, pure. Refined. That's interesting because refined came up today as well. And vigor, the energy of vigor, life force, and vitality. One's emotions, mind, soul, and fairy, sprite, semen, generation, epoch, height, and well. And they all just came up again today in something I was translating. And vitality comes up, and I signed up for another vitality because I'm going to Hawaii and they're doing one there. He's not doing them on the mainland anymore. And mainland came up this past week too. One's emotions, mind, soul, fairy. And gender. One of 28 mansions in Chinese constellations, short for Singapore, star, and celestial celestial body, force, make or make what it's made of, the quiet stillness, the law, the rule, and the way. And the Chinese Zhao dynasty came up. And from Chinese, poetry and poem also came up as definitions. The infinite sacred mother or whale, the infinite mother to be, to do so heaven of the sea, student of purity or purifying of seawater or seaman, destiny to see the I am, of seawater I am, of the bridge that you are, going within to heavenly indigo, in digging into the O, which is the human embodiment of source. Math to do, as I actually picked this deck today, which is much more, right, shape oriented regarding math than I usually use. Math to do, to know, so high vibe of bridge to I am, the student of clearing the bridge, going within as high vibe indigo. The infinite magic of gender, and the number 6 of the family ancestors, the point of the city seeker. Of lowering of the sea Abbey, and I'm getting Abbey. Abbey Roads just came up on TV too, and English is right next to it. The ghost of Tees, the lowering of the mold, the English ghost of Tees Point after the seal. And the Boston Tea Party was coming up during this too. Again, this was back on the 18th. And Cabby's coming up with that as well. Okay, so let's see where they go. See Abbey. Math poetry, so high vibe of the city seeker, of queen of sea bathing, uncomfortable stuck emotions as high vibe indigo, or destined to have need or long for desire. And indigenous was coming up there as the indigo, as indigenous. Literally, indigo is indigenous. And again, purple dye of indigo is coming up there too. And I was going to say too, I was in a very violet mood today, right? So I'm wearing all this violet. So indigenous, of course, I then ended up breaking it down, right? The native or someone who's was always from that land or gave birth to, born in the house of, innate, instinctual, having existed from birth. The math or mother, the infinite mother, say, whale. So 10 of CI, the seeker of sage or wisdom of the sea, the Christ consciousness, and AB, which in Sumerian is semen. It's water as well, but both. The 8 of chalices, which is the walking away and within, and the 10 of high vibe indigo, the destined indigenous. The queen of the sea, and I was getting amphitrite, I'm not sure it's how it's pronounced, the wife of Poseidon, which has this say whale in his name, Poseidon, the eldest of the 50 Nereids, or Oceanid, depending on what story you're going with, the female personification of the sea, the loud moaning mother of fish, seals, and dolphins, as the seals came up after the seal came up on the prior page. Of fish, seals, and dolphins. So dolphins are very Lemurian, right? And fish obviously is Jesus energy. And then the seals, I'm getting Ea in there. With Sophia, always comes up with Ea, which is Poseidon. She hid from Ea to Atlas, but Delphia, the dolphin god, tracked her down and persuaded her to marry the sea king. It literally quoted that the maiden wanted to keep her virginity specifically. Seen with him in the chariot drawn by fish-tailed horses, which are called hippocampi. or seahorses. Hippocampus means seahorses. But the name, it was listed as probably from Greek amphis and tris, the surrounding third. Triton was also named of the third. The third is the sea. That's why it's called that, because it's the primordial sea. The prime number, 3. The third is the sea, although reason for this term is obscure. Amphitrite was essentially the same as the primordial sea goddess Thalassa, Roman equivalent, which Salacia means salty one. And there we have that salt meets fresh energy of the vortex. So, of course, there's, the stories of Poseidon and Medusa, right? So there was a lot of jealousy about other women around Poseidon. So the story of Amphitrite threw some magic herbs into the well in which Scylla used to bathe, and I'm not sure if that's Medusa, just parallel stories, or it's a different goddess, and changed her into the monster with 6 heads. So I'm assuming it's Medusa and 12 feet. And it was funny because the author there, her name was Evelyn, WAITE of the family. So let's see here. And Triton the sun, he owns the depths of the sea, living with his dear mother and the Lord his father in their golden house. An awful god, goddess of sea bathing. And Tiamat came up there too, the primordial goddess of the salt sea in Mesopotamia. Fearsome sea serpent or dragon embodies the chaos of the ocean. Mother of first gods represents the mingling of the salt and fresh waters. And Aphrodite's chariot drawn by the dolphins. And that was from spells8.com. And I was just getting to since we just changed from the dragon to the snake year, the dragon and snake have similar traits, right? Sometimes the snake is called serpent, which is very close to the dragon, right? So the energy was that came up about the snake is the snake comes out of the water. And that literally came up in my message today. Fearsome sea serpent or dragon embodies the chaos of the ocean. So us going into the snake year now, we go out of the masculine energy of chaos, but now we go out of the ocean and the drama of the ocean onto the land. But that's a whole new world. So there's a whole new can of worms, so to speak. The mother of the first gods, representing the mingling of the salt and fresh waters. The infinite mother's poetry, so high vibe of the sea, seeking to clear the seas, the waters, the seamen, going within as high vibe indigo or indigenous to the sea. So the underlying energy here at 202 was the Hermit reversed, and below that was the Ace of Wands reversed as well. And then the Five of Swords upright, the King of Pentacles reversed, the Three of Cups reversed, and the Page of Pentacles upright. The Hermit uninspired or stuck inside, facing fears, or perhaps a pet giving them a hard time, or fighting the King of Pentacles reversed, about coming or not coming together. With the Page of Pentacles upright, perhaps a student or opportunity, or the King of Pentacles reversed is the Hermit reversed, not aroused by third party or group of bad influences, or influences on the Page of Pentacles child, a starseed, a curious one with an open heart and crown. As the Knight of Wands reversed, player is bored of falling short on kindnesses to one not accepting them under the radar, or both feeling like failures, or bored in mirroring or grounding and integrating their shortcomings and disillusionments. Players surrounding the Page of Pentacles starseed, certain they're the one and professing to drop all others for the Empress upright or to get her approval. or the Empress is just tired of players' false promises. To no emotional pretense. As the King of Swords reverse is frustrated, coming out under radar, and the Queen of Wands upright, telling her truth or triumphing over burdens and taking a load off or confessing. Or she's the straw that broke the camel's back. As Virgo's reversed, Aries upright, Taurus upright. Or is there an intervention by Leo or Sagittarius or cats without the right intentions, or pissing in another's cups, or raining cats and dogs, dumping emotional attachments, or Ias perhaps is really funny because I named one of the 6 cats that's been hanging out on my property, Lovely Ia. So dumping Ias or emotional attachments to what no longer serves you. Aries and Taurus, bored of it, or mother with child surrounded, or tired of the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, both reversed here, and their attentions to the Queen of Wands upright, who was given the truth or big news that allowed her to put her feet up, or had her crown removed. Perhaps a blessing in disguise, as the Fool is now free, perhaps got knocked for a loop. Or the Queen of Wands Aries is free, and Taurus with the Page of Pentacles, or is the Page of Pentacles, with the recent Queen of Cups upright, who was without a choice, uninspired to be out in the cold, but upright, the Queen of Cups, with the Page of Swords, and the King of Swords reverse was there too. The Page of Swords, perhaps an idea or message, but no sun or no tools or lack of confidence in them, unable to conceive of it. As Leo reversed and Gemini or Virgo reversed, or a message from a known manipulator, the underlying energy is the Sun reversed. As holding on with cards close, or being practical, saving, and yet being charitable to those in need, the wounded warrior surrenders, withholding or clearing the slate for a whole new life, perhaps, or perhaps a big offer to someone else. As the central energy is the Empress, in her abundance, after a breakup or lack of affection, with High Priestess reversed, or someone who tells secrets, or perhaps a sister, or an ex telling their secrets, facing the lion's den, with Gemini, Pisces, or Virgo reversed, and Leo upright, challenged by the Eight of Cups reverse, uncomfortable emotions, not being able to walk away, and destined to travel with or as the Nine of Pentacles sovereign and the Knight of Pentacles reverse, which can be 2 children, one very independent and one not. Perhaps the Knight of Pentacles reverse is stressed or not sleeping, with the Queen of Swords reversed, or because the Queen of Swords reversed can't sleep and is keeping them up. We have Libra and Cancer both upright there as well. So now presently is that Page of Cups up top there, staring at the Page of Pentacles, while the Page of Wands is traveling or coming full circle with the Knight of Cups reversed, competing or fighting perhaps with them. See, there's a lot of child energy here. This could be a lot of messages as well. As Aquarius and Pisces both upright, or multiple suitors vying for the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles' attention. Soon coming up here is the Ten of Cups, cleaning up the act to be free, or cleaning up their room to get away from the Queen of Swords reversed. As the twin flame energy here, how they see themselves is the Ten of Pentacles upright. So we have both the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles upright, which is really nice. After temptation and chains, or dealing with Capricorn, patient angel next to the Three of Cups reversed, and bad influences, or someone who's just not socializing, or third party, interference there. It could just be someone not coming together, or literally someone butting in. As the angel and the devil, bye sweetie, have a good night. The angel and the devil, or animal house, dropping the act, the facade, or tripping up, and all hell breaks loose in a wake-up call to see another way. Perhaps angel needs to blow the whistle on the devil to wake them up, to really see themselves. After angel and devil, or Capricorn and Saggy, not coming together and breaking up the act or patterns before the universal forces its hand, in a sudden event of getting called out and left hung out to dry, with Scorpio and Aquarius both upright here. After all this crap transpired, the twin flames still, the Ten of Pentacles upright, drained by the Page of Wands reversed, and that could be a difficult child or a sick child perhaps, or perhaps their own lack of inspiration, or their energy being all over the place, unable to walk away emotionally, committed to release of imprisoning thoughts, or uncomfortable with Taurus upright or religious leaders release around the Page of Wands reversed, blocked by completion or closure, or divine feminine or Pisces or neighbor that has them by the balls, as the Seven of Pentacles is upright, the Hermit reversed and Moon reversed, which could be Virgo and Cancer in their chart. And Seven of Pentacles for me in this deck also is the divine feminine's heart in the E Tower. But the energy of this assessing worth, perhaps being still and reaping rewards, or assessing worth of the situation of dealing with a crazy lunatic, or that now the worst is over and the cycle is complete, or the worth of coming out in the morning in a painful ending once and for all. As Indigo reversed is looking back at the King of Cups upright and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community of wealth or abundance or legacy, one not indigenous, without tools or confidence, clingy or exhausted, birthing through the Ring of Fire, clearing work to align with injustice of the King of Wands upright and the Six of Cups upright children or childhood friend, the Emperor's upright with clingy Knight of Swords reversed or Libra reversed, with Aries upright, Scorpio reversed, and the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out or verbally abusive or holding their tongue, but with definitely something to say, to move to peace away from the Queen of Pentacles upright, with whatever's not working or issues at work, with the King of Pentacles reversed, and meeting face to face to get their wish of moving, but being blocked over and over by or from the Ten of Cups family regarding delays in a happy ending. As the Magician reversed, or Indigo reversed, perhaps Gemini or Virgo, Knight of Swords reversed, is watching the King of Cups upright with the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, and Scorpio reversed, or in a near-death experience, or just dead tired, finding peace from the Queen of Pentacles upright, birthing through to the Four of Wands, the home, the union, the celebration, the visit, the instability, or perhaps a new home or an ex who's moving out to start a new life. As the Queen of Pentacles is upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, come to an agreement, as the Nine of Cups is upright and the Four of Wands is reversed, causing delay in an emotional transition or getting over an ending or death, grieving and having to defend self against the Queen of Cups upright, having weakened the storm or weathered the storm, only ever offering love and kindness after birth, receiving no help or affection in return. And the Queen of Cups is upright here. And now feeling badly for being defensive to the Queen of Cups, who has always been kind to them, and now seeing the King of Cups upright home as well, with the Ten of Cups upright and Ten of Pentacles upright, free with dog on walks and or with devil next door. Again, this energy of something nearby hanging over their head. The Hermit reverse as the Frog to Prince, the King of Pentacles reversed, not socializing with the Page of Pentacles, or perhaps an opportunity to leap or get downloads or no sunshine, and drained as the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, with the Page of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Cups upright, and the Empress, challenged by not being able to just walk away. And the Ten of Cups family, business, or community whole is complete or ascending with message of love, or with the Page of Cups child or pet with a message of love, to Indigo reversed, who may be exhausted by a pet or child, or Leo, or birthing while moving, or visiting in a breakup, preparing for a new life. The Page of Pentacles, Starseed, and the Queen of Cups in need of sunshine or vacation with the Empress. And Page of Cups challenged by difficult emotions with or about the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. And again, there's the Montagues and the Capulets type of energy here, but they're both really positive as far as the family units. And then the Page of Wands reversed with Pisces or neighbor or indigo reversed. Exhausted and being strong, despite unstable home, without a lover or affection, and preparing to start a whole new cycle of life. We have all the aces. Ace of Cups and Ace of Swords were upright, as well as the Empress and the Emperor, both upright. 3 of the Queens were upright. The Queen of Swords was not. The King of Pentacles and King of Swords were not. And then the King of Cups and King of Wands were upright. Taurus, Aries, upright. Leo, reversed. Pisces, upright. Gemini or Virgo, reversed. And that was at 537, which is the Hierophant and the King of Cups, which is called, could also be Taurus, King of Cups, or the Establishment and the King of Cups, or them leaving that establishment. And again, that could be a break in any contract, whether it's divorce or a business or just a vow or a promise to somebody. But it has to do with a big institution or societal norms, cultures, traditions, all that kind of stuff. All right, so that is the message on the table. On the 18th, I ended up posting. It was a message about it came up. One 3.14, right, pi, and then 4.13 is the reflection of that. And then phi is 1.618 energy, which the 3 of them, I brought this up before, equal 8.888. And again, that was coming up with, again, Himiko and Sophia were coming up, and Kuan Yin in a smaller way. They're different energies. Kuan Yin is softer than Himiko. She's more soft and quiet, more delicate, whereas Himiko is more childlike, right? A creatrix type of energy. And in the messages that were coming up at the time, she was calling the blood of the earth the tea, which I thought was really interesting, right? The brown blood of the earth is the tea, right? The herbs and the spices. And she kept talking about our differences, right? And enjoying our differences, right? That the earth's blood is brown and is tea, and the human's blood is warm, and then there's other reptilians with cold blood, right? To embrace our differences. And then Bible verses came up with those 3 things. 3.14 was John. 4.13 came up as Philippians 4.13, which came up for something else too, which is the quote, "I can do all things." 3.14 John is just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness. Notice wild and wilderness, because the Wild West also came up, and the Far East. So the Son of Man must be also lifted and exalted. So again, the Wild West as the we path versus the Far East of the Ia path. Anyway, you can check that out. And that was around the 18th. That was posted, have been posted on the 18th, but I posted more than one because the eagles then came up around that time too. I don't know if, no, it wasn't that message. But yeah, I posted, it was the Fool message. So if you see my Fool card with the heart and roses or flowers bursting, that's the Fool card. The Spirit was coming through predicting the Eagles game, literally with the Packers. And I had no idea when it was coming through that they were playing the Packers, because I don't follow football. So it's really cool that came down, predicting the game, basically. So you can read that one too if you'd like. Oh, that was really cool too. On the 19th, All right, so when TikTok was supposed to go down, my phone went down when I woke up that morning. There was nothing wrong with it when I went to bed. And when I woke up that morning, it was not going on for anything. So I had to go to the store to get it fixed. And it was nothing really, but I didn't know how to fix it, you know. But on the way to the store that day, the numbers were so off the hook. So I was behind 2525, which this is the year 2525. And then I was behind two cars, which were 1771 and 3003. And then when I stopped at the light, it was 4 lanes because there's a left and right turn lane. I was literally behind 8111, 1771, 6446, and 3003. It was very cool. Let's see if there's any words that are popping out at me here from that day. No. Okay. Yes, I might have posted that on the 19th. The Pi stuff. In Exodus 25:10, dimensions of the Ark of the Covenant, the energies of 3 and 5, the dimensions of 3 and 5 were meant, you know, and where it was mentioned in the Bible, the same dimensions as Phi, or the golden mean. You are the rock. It was coming up as you are the rock, the 2 stones inside the covenant, right? The commandment stones. Rolling with the punches, building heaven on earth every day. And I broke down the golden mean this week too on Instagram. On the 19th, just some quick words that were popping out from when I was assessing my messages. I kept getting the energy of schools, like comparing what we're going through to the difference between elementary school and middle school and high school, and noticing high school being a higher vibrational place. Yeah, graduate was coming up, and this is on the 19th. So graduating, mini district also came up, and district I broken down. The 2 worlds splitting. And again into the 3-way energy of one or the other, and then the neutral position. The 2 worlds splitting, the difference between, and this is again, Himiko is coming through with different meats and veggies, the difference between things that are not clear yet, the difference between progress and not yet, 2 different things, but the same, right? 2 different perspectives of the same thing. And Nat, when my Nat comes through, it's a message for me that's something unforgettable. And then literally the translation that came up in Japanese was it's a stain, which is my last name, Stainthorpe. And then Nat showed up right at that moment, so that was really cool. And 16 days came up there too in Hawaiian. Oh, interesting. Because I hadn't even thought about going to Hawaii when I wrote this down. So 16 days, I think it ended up being February 5th. So something significant out the 5th, but also the 3rd. So maybe the 3rd to the 5th time period right there, because the February 3rd is my 4th New Year's from the leap year. The 4 special New Year's from this past year. And 16 days from the 19th came out to the 5th, I believe that's what it was. And then It's a Stain was coming up. Nala's Defeat. And I'd written down that I heard these noises. They sounded like distant airstrikes. So yeah, all sorts of weird little things. Difference between 2. Not just meat and veggies, but peak and mini peak. And this is Himiko again. Between hair and hairstyle. That you are peak. Sammy Middle School. The mini 2-path east. the Semite and the Buddhist monk. One doesn't touch dirtied women, and other doesn't touch meat. What a sky I am today. Your time is from you, the Mad Hatter. I did a post on antimatter if you want to check that out as well. The lining of the peritoneal cavity was coming up too, is like the stomach lining. The fold regarding this antimatter post. And on the 20th, again, the horse with Mecca was coming up, and compensation. Number 7, there looks like a betrayal came up as well. 7 years, like 7 years bad luck kind of thing. But it was coming up as a traitor, and there could be a sister involved there. And again, yeah, 16 days is February 5th. And notice February 5th is 2052, 025, which reflect each other. And I was getting 7 years, 16 days. So if that means anything to you. Other hospitals were coming up. And again, it was Inauguration Day on the 20th. The red moon came up that day. The double alias, like someone with more than one alias. AMA Ka, do not let other hospitals or 60s defeat us. My Lady, Christed, the Christed Bridge, Christ to Ed, the two-way bridge, and then 2518, Sweat It Out, and Seminars coming up there too. And the path of AI, because in Japanese, AI translates to love on Google Translate. Mind you, all the translations on Google Translate aren't always literal depending on what words are being put in, because sometimes it's a whole translation. It's by sound, not by words. So it doesn't matter for me because I get the message I'm meant to get. But just so you know, AI was coming through as love in Japanese. So I found that very interesting. The word red has been coming up a lot. I was watching a couple of videos and red was coming up, but it was coming up in Miko's message about Japan, because Japan's very red. You know, just that color red of Asia, you know, even China, think of that energy, but Japan has a harder edge, is more of a masculine edge than China. China's more of a softer edge. I'm not saying in one perspective it's worse, right? But you know what I mean, right? Because Japan's like, you know, the energy of Harry Carey and all that kind of stuff. The inner energies are more masculine. That was coming up. All right, so let me get to the 21st. Again, bottom compensation came up. And grandfather's surname. Black Rock had come up, as well as Mona Lisa. And Shippa or Sherpa was also coming up. Eyes watching, no doubt. Again, like the walls have eyes in the walls. I don't know if the Philadelphia experiment may have come up for somebody. And Pennsylvania was coming up too as PA, which is also the father, obviously. The quote, children are the best. And again, Himiko was coming up regarding that. Shakespeare came up. coconut, chocolate, tea. Oh, that's interesting. I was just getting another hit about that stuff because I was getting a message about whatever might happen, creating some kind of embargoes or not being able to get certain products. And Japan, Sri Lanka came up yesterday or the day before, and Iraq, Iran with the oil. So oil, and then cinnamon is from Sri Lanka, and so that came up, and then maca came up in Japan. So interesting. I don't know if there may be some products in the future this year that will be very difficult to get a hold of. Interesting. The word supermarionation had come up in gematria, and obviously it's Super Mario Nation, but it was coming up as marionette, which is based on Mary and Marion. So that was coming up. Sorting the gold and silver leaves. Right, the gold of the metals and the silver of the representing the earth, like the leaves and the woods. In the brain of the gentleman, the husband, the father, protector, master, teacher of metal and wood. In a vacuum would pan out, but with harsh criticism remains a mug in a scene of grandmother's village as the sound seems to bounce across the field of dreams, and bam, this is one of the posts I did, as Bam Bam clears the leaves off of pebbles, clearly the gold, seeing the trees through the forest and the forest through the trees, the details or of tales and the big picture, and joining together to unite. And again, PA North kept coming up. So the father in North, but also Pennsylvania, and I North was coming up. And again, the bridges being created. I posted the number 845 because then it brought up pi, phi, and the Fibonacci sequence that I just posted, and the gematria entry also at 888 that I posted on that same thing. Just a lot of cool synchronicities coming up. All right, so on the 21st, I have a message of the day. Let's see if I can find that picture for you. So this is the Journey of Love, the Shaman's Oracle, the Energy Deck, and then Fortune's Oracle. So this is the message. The cards on the left are the underlying energies, and then I usually pull 3 cards, and then whatever other cards want to come out organically, I also use in the story and use for numerology purposes at the end there. Okay, so you have the 4 decks right there. This was done on the 21st, 5, 25, 27, 30, and 32. As the numbers came up 1, 2, 1, 2, but also 3, 3, 4, 5, 2 hangmen or 2 hanging out. 12, 12 came up multiple times over the past couple weeks for sure. As 2 eagles fly, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 also came up. And I was actually born at 2, 3, 4, 5, and that came up in the post. Oh, the 3. So 3.14 plus 4.13 plus 1.618 equals 8.888. But when I brought up the Bible verses, it brought up time, right? So 3:14 as in time, and then 4:13 in time, and then 16:18 in time, coming from the verses used, add up to 23:4, which is the time I was born. So that was really cool. And also, it's like quarter of midnight to the 11th hour. The final quarter was coming up here. The 2 hangmen, as the 2 eagles fly, and again, there's reference to the Eagles team. Their soul numbers I calculated as 25, so it's their year, which so before the playoff game, I kind of knew that they were going to win. Across the bridge to get over emotions, the 33 of the 2 eagles to the 5-5 of truth, the 3 to 5D times 2, the underlying energies here of 542 to 3, the Hierophant and the Two of Cups to the Three of Cups. And then the 53 is the Knight of Swords with Legacy of Light, the 12 card of Dragon's Hoard, the 45 of Man Holding His Heart, and the 4 card of Birth. The Christ Messenger and the Seahorse. And Jenna's Jaunt is a drawing I'd done for my daughter many years ago when I was pregnant with her. And I was in a ceramics class and I made ceramics for all my nieces and nephews, but I never got to Jenna's because I was so busy doing all of theirs. But it was called Jenna's Jaunt, and that was coming up here. It's that energy of the womb, of like having a space with all butterflies and flowers, a very girly space. The Knight of Swords hanging with the grieving man, the Emperor's rebirth. The Knight of Swords with a message to be still, as Pisces with Capricorn, Dragon, and Seahorse with a treasure inside. And Amethyst was coming up there as well. His heart as a child. Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries coming up there. And the horsepower at 4. And again, the 4 is the cross in the roads of the vertical and horizontal pillars. The underlying energy of the 53 Knight of Swords and the 64 of sensual awakening, 50 of the cloak, and 53 of the legacy of light. The bliss of the 10 of cups is cloak to carry on as a messenger of truth. Now the worst is over. Remember, we talked about the 10 of cups and the 10 of pentacles in the read. The first card out is the 9, or the heart of God open wide. The 10 of destined high vibe of 3 to 1 in the vortex calm. Virgo and Libra, and the 39 of the Knight of Cups, letting the feminine lead the way, as the 40 is the Page of Cups, the void, with the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups, the quietest time before the dawn, as the King of Pentacles 65 comes crashing through, the breaking through as she risks to love with 61. And 126 came up and catches him. So this is like the feminine in the vortex, arching up to rise, and him crashing down, covering her as she catches him. The bliss of the 10 of Cups family, messengers of light, as 9 and 10 and 19 of the Knight of Cups and Page of Cups, 39 and 40. 9 and 10 are the Hermit and the Wheel. For me are Virgo and Libra, but obviously the Wheel can be seen as Sagittarius as well. The 39 and 40, which equals 79 for me, is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The graduate in the sun of God's open heart, and the King of Pentacles with risky business, as the 65-61 equals 126. The divine masculine, divine feminine lovers, the pot of gold. As the underlying energy at 604 is the 53 Knight of Swords, stranger's curiosity that sparks. The 34 King of the Hill with lay of the land, as the 46 Root Girl and disowned self are burned out with the Knight of Swords energetic exchange and the 6 of Cups innocent children or soul mates, soul ties, hanging out with the Dragon's Hoard, again that energy of Jenna's Jaunt, the Dragon's Hoard protecting the future from LA or angel roots to drag ons, the Hoa Road. Ons is O-N apostrophe S, and N is S for me is Christ and Sophia. And O is the human embodiment of Source. So it's the energy of Christus Sophia. The angel roots to dragon. I don't know if I meant to write the high road there. I'm getting Hawaiian energies from it. The Knight of Swords energetic exchange with the 6 of Cups about hanging out. Then the next first card is the 6 of the cosmic womb of the divine feminine and the 4 of the cat pillar, or cat ER pillar opportunity, as the Six of Cups of 1 and 2, that's 3, and the lover's stability of the divine feminine's womb, and the caterpillar, or the ER pillar, with an opportunity to tell the truth. The farther gate, the double airlock, going through one to clear the air before entering the next and going out there. The 18 of the eyes of the eagle, wide open to romance as Superfly leaps in the fool's embrace. The 22 of the 5D station and a plunge of Cannonball Run. The orange beak and sphere. I'm hearing a weird noise, and I'm just wondering what it is. Sorry about that. Sherbert was coming up with that orange color as well. The orange beak and sphere, or sherbet orange, and lizardy skin from the 5D station, where the beak is coming up as the sword, and the orange moon, the stone. And I was getting Ganymede there too, which is Jupiter's moon, which I think that's where the Confederate ship hangs out. The 18 and 22 together, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, Garden of Venus, with the energies of Pisces, Gemini, Aries, Cancer, and Sagittarius there, and a wide range of vision. The eagle, King of Cups, looks out as Superfly, and Mary leaps. The moon to the 5D station, and Mary's garden, Mother Mary and Venus, the unicorns, the 3 of blossoming abundance, and the 31 of door to value, the 32 of door to spirit. So there's all these double doors, right? As I just talked about them. As the 45, man holding a heart, is waiting there. The eagle soars through the garden as the Empress, as the cards were literally 3, 31, and 32, and the 3 is the eagle flying. So first to see what you value as the divine masculine and clear the way before opening door number 2 of the divine feminine to spirit, a breath of fresh air. The doors of east wind, quote unquote, to VS, very slightly included, or very special Venus. Perhaps you are led down a path for a special moment. The 33 of the 7 of Wands, door to romance and healing heart by joining bird's flight. The door to romance whose heart is the key to the bird's cage. The 38 Queen of Cups and the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. His journey leads you here. The 26 of the Page of Wands, hostilities. Remember the Page of Wands was reversed before too. At the 30 home of the garden and the gate. The 11 of cornucopia, of sun-kissed food, of the 52-7 goddess of the moon, which is the Queen of Swords. The 1-to-1 with a token of the high priestess or higher self and their journey. With Libra, Queen of Swords, showing the high priestess or Pisces, Capricorn life lesson and or sister Capricorn with a token of their appreciation. The Empress's group or Pisces, Cappy, Taurus bring good news to the man holding their heart, opening the door to stand up to the Queen of Cups with Archangel on her side. And the cards came up as 45, 33, 38, 44. Which I really synced with all those numbers because 38 is my soul number, 44 is my life lesson number, and all of the double digit numbers always bring up the other double digits, 11 through 44 from the numerology book, The Divine Triangle, and then 45 is the minutes I was born. So the man holding the heart to the woman holding the heart, the energy of Christ and Mary Magdalene, as he goes through door number 3, 33, as there were 3 threes, 31, 32, and then 45 to 33, as they were bringing this energy up that, you know, an E and 3 come together, that creates the number 8. The 3 chambers of the heart to dance with 4, 4, right, the 4th, And 44 is Hercules, the Four of Cups, and Hercules is her harvest. The 33 to the 44, with the 38 Queen of Cups between, raising the heart frequency from 3 to 44%, which I believe literally was a quote from Elena Danan's channel from Thorhan, the Pleiadians, that we are raising our like brain capacity, our DNA capacity from 33 to 44%, and that the Pleiadians were at about 80%, if I recall correctly. As he hits 45, so the masculine hits just above that level. 33 allow you admittance, but 44 gets you in. 45 and 38 is 83, reflecting 38, and 33 plus 44 is 77, reflecting itself. As the 46 Six of Cups thinking man discovers the trifecta, the three crystal towers and Aquarius's judgment and or envy, or dark mother with storm warning of Libra, twister heading your way. As the 43, as I'm losing my voice, my son is Libra rising and his soul number is 43 and he's Scorpio, but he's Libra rising. And he moved home in December, so it's interesting. Aquarius's judgment under envy, or dark mother, or storm warning of Libra, twister heading your way, is the 43 Three of Cups, man holding the coin, a token for his angel of love, and the 49, which is about self-satisfaction. Libra triggered to clear the way to get their wish, as romance may be coming in sets of threes, or for whole families, as the underlying energy of 14 and judgment, as the story jumps off the page of Angel Eagle number 9 and Hermit soaring over range to escape the fires. The Sagittarius to Virgo to Libra, and Sagittarius Laniakea, which is 14 degrees. So Laniakea alignment was around December 6th to 7th, where the central alignment was it's 27 degrees, was the 18th. Over the range to escape the fires. At the crossroads, through, not the ring of fire, but the cross of fires. The Southern Cross was coming up as the sun rebirths. So the ring of fire comes up as Lion's Gate, but here Sagittarius, Sagittarius was coming up as the cross, the Southern Cross of fire. At 733, which is the Chariot, and the 33, which is the Seven of Wands, of standing up for yourself. It's that Christ vibration without becoming defensive. Sagittarius, Virgo, Libra, and Aries here. And between Saggy and Aries, 9-10 begin again, which 9-10 is not just September and October, but November and December. As the first card out was 33 of the unicorns and their shadow. 2 in flight with this love card, number 17, and the 14 card of angels. The 9 and 10 at the crossroads, where the vertical pillar is the phoenix rising and the eagles soar across as 33 to the stars of 17 for dreams to come true. So literally it was coming up as this tunneling through effect. Okay, coming through here to the other side. 2 eagles at the crossroads birth their inner unicorn on a trajectory to the stars. The 15 shadow is the skeleton key, as together you unlock all doors in letting go of the past. The 22 and 24 of the mountain and patience at the 5D station. The fool leaps with an open heart and compassion as the Queen of Wands shows patience by slowing down to change their attitude and clear their mind as the hourglass of infinity and beyond. The 7 cracker, the key to the fireworks. And instead of Area 51, Area 53 was coming up. I don't know what that means, but 222 is the guidance of 4 to 7, right? The sweet spot of 4 to 7. It's the middle, number 5, but just airing to the light. Room 222 in the sweet spot 4 to 7, the crossroads to the boomerang. As 36 is the 10 of Wands Atlas, the map of intent, blasting off around the world in AD days, taking a load off to align with the flowers or flowers, the collective awakening, in a word, a leap, which add leap to word is world, with pink and gold blossoms, which I just did that meditation for you when we started too, regarding the pink flowers and the golden sun. So we have I looked up 473 from this message, and the Great Reset came up under that one, along with appointed time, thought, and premonition. And 888 came up with premonition as well, and 148, which is miracles. The tetrahedron came up with that one, and the man in the arena, Constantine, without an E, which is my dad's name. Epstein Island came up, mirror time, Dolores Cannon, Atlanta Falcons, and a weird word, misanthrope, which reminded me of, right, because my last name is Stainthorpe. It's not R-O-O-R, but same letters. And it was reminding me of my niece. And then contamination came up as the 16th entry. Remember, 16 came up. The rhesus factor, 4 bells, confessions, mitochondrion, forget me not, mother father, and gematria nation, and energy mother nation. So remember that. So with the Lion's Gate, and now we have the Southern Cross as Saggy Gate, and then the Ram's Gate, right, who just knocks down the door, right? Right, so Lion goes through the ring of fire, right? So Lion is the one with courage to go through the ring of fire, like in The Wizard of Oz, right? And then we have Sagittarius, who's the one who creates the vortex. They create the door, because that is the galactic center. But I also told you we shifted away from the galactic center because now we're in alignment with Laniakea, the superhighway. So we don't need to be aligned with the galactic center anymore. And then now we have Ramsgate, which just, goes in there and knocks down the door. The energy of 96 came up, right? So I would talk about the 698 pod of the 2 P's in the pod, right? Because 6 and 9 together creates the number 8 inside of a pod. But if they go inside out through and through to the other side, they become the 96, which are then just corded, but they don't have any housing. They no longer need that protection. So that 96 was coming up in that sense again here today, as opposed to the 698 pod, which is the home, the 2P of the 2 P's in the pod. The 96 is now the mobile home, and it's mercurial was coming up. The 96 and then 3333 came up with these cards as God's heart of the divine masculine and the cosmic womb of the divine feminine, the door to romance, and twin unicorns. From 3 to 1 and 10 to 4 in the vortex, an opportunity, Libra or destined emperor and the Queen of Cups, dream or healer, the cat of work and star of the heart. The Knight of Cups, truth, grounding and integrating the shadow as the feminine leads the way in a bold step forward, as the woman at the end holding the heart, as the key to get in. The Page of Cups, Cancer, or Pisces in Cancer, or the Knight of Cups and Page of Cups as the 6 of Cups, 2 innocent ones, at Lover's Leap 5D station, or keeping an eye on the fool, or the thinking man, right, who may be thinking too much. Remember, we talked about discernment in the beginning. The King of Pentacles leap in a wake-up call of the Queen of Wands. A fall and a leap, like I described before, where there's a rising and a falling. When the masculine's in his falling, he could be in the feminine energy. And right, when she's rising, she could be in her masculine energy. So they may be flipped there because of that. But the King of Pentacles and the Fool of judgment, envy, and the Queen of Wands, patience, in a risk to love the Knight of Wands, destined storm warning as the fireworks go off, or a real spark plug. Coming together around the world, the man with a coin with the weight of the world, and the angel of love getting their wish, aligning with the flowers, or the collective awakening of truth and balance, or the King of Pentacles birthing a new sweetheart, working hard for justice. As then my Mercury post came up right here. And the Red Cross was coming up with that too, with the RC in the middle, but also reverse circulation. The Royal Crown, Roman Catholic. Red Crystal, remote control. Research chemicals, receiving and concealing. Reformed Church, race committee, ratio control, release candidate in software. We're coming up from the RC and Mercury, but you can check out my Mercury post for all of those messages. And the Red Sea came up with that too. The Persian, the Persian Gulf. Because Canaan comes up as Israel as opposed to Iraq, Mesopotamia, right? So the Red Sea has to do with Israel, and the Persian Gulf, Iraq, and Mesopotamia. And of course, Israel, Egypt, that connection. And also, this was interesting too. If fishtailing came up, and I did fishtail on the highway on black ice one time, which was kind of scary, but I was very lucky. And I drew fishtailing, and when you draw fishtailing, it makes, it could be different things depending on your perspective, but it literally made the half of a Christmas tree. Or you could reference that as waves. But that's the way it was coming up. The fishtail was coming up as the memory field. And again, relating back to the primordial seas and the ocean waves of energy. So when they faced away from each other, they were the Christmas tree. And when they faced each other, they were like two tidal waves attacking each other. That then creates the vortex, right? Or a crash and burn type of energy, right? Because usually they're opposite when they come in and create the vortex, because they bounce off each other and then start swirling around. So let's see. In Mercury, Mary was coming up because in Mercury is ERCE, which is the field remedy charm, and it means holy as well. So it's literally M holy RY, which is Mary. All right, so now we're on the 23rd. And again, in Japanese, small differences kept coming up. That word difference. Magic. And the term cozy manali came up. Kosimanali, the twist in the story of meaning and significance, the cause, the kiss, the quote-unquote trump card, the blackbird, the ram, and the cost, as I just brought up the ram. The small difference in the kiss of the demon and the child's madness. I'm going to say that again. The small difference in the kiss of the demon and the child's madness, right? Because the child is very narcissistic, right? They haven't learned how to control themselves yet. And Congress even came up on this page. The arrival and admission, the lodging, a gift, a colleague or not leftover food, and that refusal, the colleague's arrival to admit that after death actually came and went. And Ben came up there too. The ancestor trees. The trilogy came up there. And this was downloads I had gotten. Translated as the trilogy of the monk's monk, the silent prick, and the market of Surat was really interesting because the monk's monk was coming up as the rare breed, shaven like satin, whose slurps plain is level and slightly this of the trilogy. And then the silent prick was in the middle here of spot or chapter with razor, letter, and cause. And then the market Surat, the written source in my head. whatever, and then que sera, sera, whatever will be. The future is ours to see. Que sera, sera. The energy of two evenings. The energy of two seas. As I just talked about, the two waves coming towards each other, and then the Quran came up as well. QUR'(AN) is the cure, to be cut off, or apostrophed. Apostrophed, before you ran. So apostrophed could be put on a shelf, but the apostles, trophied, used as a trophy before you ran. And then I posted something on Nazareth, Nazarene, and Nazarite, because they kept relating Jesus and Ea, right? Two sides of the same coin. So that was coming up as well. Let's see here. All right, so the next message of the day is on the 24th. I posted the word century as well. Is this one? No. All right, so it's just a small one here. The medicine deck up top there. All right, the medicine deck, ascension deck, the fortune's oracle, and then past life oracle down here. So again, I was just pulling one card in the morning, so the underlying energies, and then the one card that came out for each. So this was done on the 24th. The first two decks at 11:11, and then 11:12 and 13, the second two decks. And the underlying energies were your divine feminine. It was a blank card that I'd drawn in, your divine feminine. Number 16, the Pleiades. 11, the flowers, again, the flowers. And the underlying energy of the ships. The first cards out were 37, the antelope, 10, the sun, 17, love, and the arts that has no number associated with it. But the arts keeps coming up as T hearts. Or I can reference T hearts as the tree, or sweethearts. There's lots of different ways of looking at that. Your divine feminine Pleiadian healing, the blue light of sheep and pandas and pigs, healing people and the land, so to bless and honor their contribution. The 16, again, number 16 coming up, the sudden heart opening, the epiphany or feeling explosive, opening to the Pleiades here. The 11 of truth, balance, and alignment of collective awakening, blossoming as the ships coming in, bright white and new. Wind in their sails of Pleiadian ships. The divine feminine of 16 and 11, the ships equals 27 of love. Perhaps now, or Libra to Scorpio, October 2027, as the underlying energy of your divine feminine after the 51 of the Jaguar, which is also the King of Swords, and the 10 of the Turtle, which again, 10 for me is the Wheel of Fortune and Libra energy, so it could be a Libra King of Swords. And the 12 of the Porcupine, the 20 of the Mouse, your divine feminine as well, as the King of Swords, and my GJ letters were coming up too. So G breaks down to C and T, right? The little t leaping to source. And then J is the little t at source, leaping back down to ground or grounding. The King of Swords, Jaguar that you are, and the two-way bridge. Libra energy destined to be slow and guarded, hanging out with the prickly pear or growing their hair out. Both the turtle and the porcupine carry their own housing or protection. A wake-up call to the detailed mouse or collecting tax records at a slow process. Your divine feminine. The King of Wands and Fool, one-to-one with space, dinner perhaps with source support. Appears to be quick cat, but the cat and mouse, a divine mouse and feminine game. He slow and guarded, and she playing small and obsessed with details and order or structure, organization, stalked by his cats around, or by big cats around. As number 511 came up, so I looked that up, which was Saturn, Mary, and me, the biblical son of God. His real problem, he lied. Army, code OMG, Rosa, Hannah. Healed, secret message, mistake, I called her a liar. And decode L was times 22. And again, 22 references the Fool leaping, but also the 5D station. So decode the L, which is also the right angle, the basis of the golden mean. I think that came up from Bashar recently. The 14 of the Temperance card, the 48 of the 48th entry was foursome. 49 was Moth cult, and Moth had come up as Mother cult. Yes, the day before. 50. The 50th entry was the Rolling Stone. The number 122 was March, Elohim. Again, there's the L coming up. Karma, Bitch, Hecate, Gift, Papa, False, Colin, MBS, and Brahma. Riddle, Moana. So Mona, again, was very similar to that. And Nara came up under 122 as well. And Dog God and TGIF, which I posted at TGIF. The 27th entry was I am hid in DEC, or December, which DEC is 10. So that could reference October as well. But literally the sphere, because D for me is the spinning planet, the sphere of EC, and the number 615, which is reality, singles net com login, 59, and Raziel, number 9, and 118 both came up. And the 12th entry was messy, and the 50th entry was CERN, Large Hadron Collider. And I posted magic that morning on the 24th. Actually, there was magic that day, now that I think about it. So significant, the whole month of October is coming up as significant, and 12/21 of this year. 37 is the next first entry of the antelope, which is action and run. The fear goes away once the action begins. As your divine feminine with the King of Cups takes action to relieve anxiety. And inaction was coming up too, right? So when you sleep, that also relieves your anxiety because you go into your altered state. The underlying energy of the 16 of Pleiades after the 3 of nature and Sophia, the 7 of fire dragons, and 51 Archangel Metatron's cloak. The 22 of unicorns and 16 of Pleiades, where the 3 and 7, the Sophia and dragons, equals 37 when you put them next to each other, the King of Cups, the Empress and the Chariot, or eagles quiet. The 3 keys of alchemy, where Aquarius, that we're in now, is number 2, the second key. And the card of nature is coming up with 9D Pan and Archangel Perlmiek, and the Mother and Hollow Earth, basically the nature kingdom. The 40 dragons to consume negative energies, and Gabriel's angels to fill with shimmering diamond light. As the eagles and Empress chariot of the King of Swords, 7D cloak with the unicorns and Venus, who drive and take this leap of faith with purity of heart. Dragons and unicorns, 4D to 7D, and 1 to clear debris, 1 to fill with diamond light. Connecting with Pleiadian healing. And then the way the numbers were coming up, I always put the numbers side by side to see the patterns that are coming up. And 615 was coming up again. It literally, the symbols came up as triangle 6DO15DO. 3 to 75D by 12/21/25. 6D. The leap from the 5D station. So this 5D station literally is like a jump off point. Like you don't stay in 5D, but 5D allows you to jump off in any direction to whatever dimension you want to go to. So the first card that came out here was the 10 of the Sun, after the Pleiades 16 as the Tower and Risk of 16 and 61. The sudden high vibe action with golden light, the dragon's last call to clear negative energies before moving into the snake year, 124 to 129, and to be decisive, and there's that DEC again of December or 10, to be decisive, and decisive was coming up as scissors, and incisors, things that cut, and I-10, and the planetary temple was coming up, to decide, a strong and valiant man. And actually someone had brought up the fact that they had associated like valor as the masculine name for grace. The valiant man's temple. So I-10 obviously is a highway, but it's also the high vibration of the I am and the moral man. At 1243, which is the hanging man and the 3 of cups, the underlying energy of the 11 of flowers, and with that the 13 of goals, 1 of abundance, 7 of cracker, 36 of the world, 11 of flowers. Progress and transition, magic hands, 5 exactly. Key to firecrackers, 1 for all, and notice 14 is a 5, 1 for all and all for 1, to energize the chariot, the vehicle, the boomerang, atlas around the world in AD days. The Dark Knight's magician's MO, to align with the collective and get the job done. The football, instead of player, was coming up as football prayer, huddle before the play. I didn't even realize that, and I just talked about that in what I did last night in Coming into the Heart. The ring in your cracker jacks, to spur you onward, to blossom the flowers or flowers and align with spring. Hearts and roses, a dream come true, as love surrounds all your connections. The number 131, the first entry is Andrea, and I was getting the Rhea energy of Ia's mother, Rhea, and Coca-Cola was the second one, and then Inanna came up. Remember, Inanna is 1 and not 1. Left Anon mask talk, Nano Mat gifted. Charmed, mailman, disable, Giles and Plank all came up, and the 50th entry was Rania. To hurt each other, to wound or injure one's self. And Rani is also the Hindu princess or queen. To go near, get close, to be adjacent, the queen consort, wife of the king, the female monarch or lady. 1-to-1 with the eagle and Sophia in the middle at, oh, interesting, because the numbers that came up were literally an intersection that's in my area. So the numbers 73 and 611 were coming up. Which also comes up as 73 is the 5 of Pentacles, right? The 2 lovers out in the cold. And 611 was coming up as 6D intersection. The 131 versus the back and forth soaring in a matter of life and death, whereas the 141 is at the intersection of the masculine, a matter of where and when. Right? So 141 is the 1 for all and all for one. The 131 is literally 13 of death and 31 of chaos in life. And then I posted something about 1-to-1, 131, 141, and what they mean. So you can check that out as well. And they have to do with the symbols, right? So 2 is also Q, and 3 is also the eagle flying, and 4 is the cross in the roads, and it's also the way to cross your heart, right? So the 4 starts at the heart and goes to the unicorn, and then goes to your right shoulder, and then back to your left, and then to the center, back to your high heart, because your shoulders are around your high heart, whereas you start at your heart. The 2 different centers came up. they were coming up as the 1-2-1 is the connecting, face to face. The 1-3-1 is the high road energetic exchange of the shaman exchange. And then 1-4-1 is the support. And it was coming in, the picture was coming up as the two mountains and how you build a bridge, right? So the first two mountains with the V in the middle between them that need a bridge, having this idea on how to connect them more fully. And then the discussions represent like the lines going back and forth between the mountains on building, the building of the bridge. And then the creation, then now they're either the whole V is filled in and they're all one unit, or there's now a bridge between. At 144, the underlying energy of the ships. After the mountain, the Native American, the communal living, the wars and battles and karmic relationship of Greco-Roman Atlantis and ships. Namaste, the monk in the teepee, or mountain wall in civil wars of karmic relationship and Romeo and Juliet, as I talked about the Capulets and the Montagues. The MO of the N, which is the Christed energy of gamma rays going back and forth, that high vibe energy, that are the code Ws, or the two creators. Li, and then the K energy of the words and the cards were coming together as Ireland. The Greek romance and tragedy of ancient ships. The galactic transport of persecution and inquisition of the high priestess and Moses, the first Native American. In the teepee or mobile home, and then the mountain communities destroyed by karmic battles, and the romance or Rome ants have means to cut, of the sun breaking through over the Parthenon to expose the sunken pillars between Atlantis and Lemuria, and the fresh new sailing ships coming in, reaching out to exchange, amend, a clean slate, or sunken pillars and mountains, and ships emerge from the sea all shiny and new, or from the skies. Sophia, sign, and snake of 1-1, and the imp of IMP with housing. As the fool with the snake at their feet is ready to leap, or dolphin swim, with the monkeys, the Native Americans, and Aborigines, Lemurians who lost and now regain the arcs and ships. As the arts are the T hearts, the infinite Ea roots, the tree 1-1 temple, a root to Sophia, of strings and keys to be pulled and pushed, black and white, and corded L to R, or left to right, end to end, across the gap that lives within, the whole that creates space for harmonious union, a melody to come in, be played and preyed upon, perhaps a serenade or two, or rhythm and blues. As the King of Cups takes action, the 10 of the sun shines, 17 of love prevails. And then we get this energy of being on set and saying, action, now shine. And then the audience applauds, says, yay, as the music comes in. The unconditional loving Libra with harmonious dream. And this message ended at 2:14, literally. The King of Cups destined star for the arts, or tree hearts, or sweetie hearts. Oh. And then there was a posted session with Matthias, where he was regressed. So that was really interesting. I definitely would recommend that. It was a QHHT session with Sarah Breskman, Breskman. All right, let's see here. More messages. I definitely got downloads from his session too. A lot of interesting stuff. Okay. Yeah, I did a lot of research on that because I got a lot of downloads. But you should watch that. I was getting to, let's see here. New York was coming up for sure in his session, but comes up for me too. I was telling you that I see the angels at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty and as the Palladian ships come in. But I was definitely getting the Holland Tunnel when he was talking about it. My grandparents actually lived right there before they passed. And I was getting, there's so many crossovers. He was talking about the people he was seeing, and he talks about them seeing huts and canoes, but I was getting that as the Greek islands. And again, Lionsgate was coming up. And he brought up Anatolia. So I looked up the definition of Anatolia, and it literally means rivers east. And Oregon means the rivers in the west, basically. So there was this polarity that came up right there. And all the connections of, like France, our connection with the Statues of Liberty, and our English connections, obviously, because we were English, creating new colonies here in the United States. But also, we always forget Asia Minor, which is Turkey mostly right now, which is Anatolia. Yeah, it was really interesting. The three angels or angles came up, and the Seventh-day Adventist and Second Coming. In Revelations 12, I don't know what this was from. I don't think this was from what he was seeing, because it looks like this is stuff that I was, researching afterward. The three angels, 929 is the Feast of Saints, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, the Seventh-day Adventist and the Second Coming. Revelations 14:6-7, where he who made heavens, earth, sea, and springs of water. 2 is the fall of Babylonian the Great, which made all nations drink the maddening wine of her adulteries. And 9-11, if worship beast and receives their mark on the forehead, will drink the wine of God's fury in the presence of holy angels and the Lamb. No rest day or night for those who receive the mark of its name. The Son of Man comes on a white cloud to harvest the earth. But I was definitely getting that, the Pleiadians coming in, or projecting their images in at least, too. And Revelations 12 has to do with the woman, God's people birthing Jesus, which is the feminine ego, basically, as opposed to the masculine ego. The red dragon, the deceiver of worlds, seeks war against the woman for 1260 years. All right. At least I'm in the current book now. I still have old stuff to go into from December, but we're not going to do that today. It's already at 2 hours. Let's see how much, if I can get up to date or not. Yeah, because I don't have much the past 2 days. So we have this message from the 26th. I did a post on change, exchange, and interchange. Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. Literally, the acronym is SOLEI. So literally, Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island is Soleil, the sun. Portal of the sun was coming up. Okay, and this is the next message here. Just a quickie. We have the medicine deck, the Ascension deck, past life, and the Fortune's Oracle again. And this is the 26th. It was 11, 42, 42, 43, and 43, the 4 decks. The underlying energy is the 44 of the Hummingbird, the 27 of Archangel Metatron, the underlying energy of Vows, and the 17 of Love, which happened to add up to 88. The cards that came out were the 7 of the Skunk, the 49 of Ascended Master Retreats, the Finances card, and then the last deck was 27 Proposal, and that column just happens to add up to 83, which Evelyn adds up to 83. And I just posted Messier 83 as well. So Hercules grounding and integrating new passion, the Queen's Gambit, and vows to heal with dreams of love, pollinating flower with Metatron's golden orange light and stellar gateway chakra, to visit Luxor in your sleep for instructions. The Time Traveler's Wife came up here with the time on this card is 151:19, which is the Magician, the King of Swords, and the Sun. Visiting the pyramid in the box was coming up as the Suitcase and the Stopwatch. The Conductor's Suitcase that I dropped in the well when I was 8 years old. Before sailing on a brand new ship, that quote-unquote time is of the essence, the lessons and blessings of trains and ships. As Viking reaching out to the arts, plugged in to vows of silence, the music within. To go to Egypt and Vikings in meditation. To the desert and the sea, the keys and strings, the chords of push and pull, and vows to do both. To dry out and charge up. With earth, water, air in the sails and fire in the heart, the tea hearts. Time out to harmonize. Infinite Ea roots. The art of Sophia. Sophi, A, which is the human embodiment with connections. So golden mean, which is golden intent, a connection is made of 1.618. And literally the phi is apple, because it's not really an oval with a line outside the lines. It just is the line pushing down in the middle of the circle, which then creates a dent or a dimple in the top of the apple and a dent in the bottom of the apple, coming in from both sides, right? Going inwards as opposed to from the center out. The leap to 0 point, spiral, and then the leap to infinity and beyond, where the egg is cracked wide open, and they're bringing in, again, the energy of gamma waves and radio sonar waves, right? Because the radio sonar waves are the sine wave, right? The radio waves are slow like this, and then the gamma waves are like this, the real high ones. And that's the N of the Christed energy. But they're showing me how they go together. And just some of the doodles I was doing from that energy. Okay, the egg cracked open, and again you see the sonar waves with the radio waves, but it's the N crossing with the waves, and then the whale was coming up from that as well, right? The symbol of yin yang that looks like whales, that was coming up as well. And the acronym B, instead of bring BYOB, it was coming up as BYOD with a little bud on top that then makes the D a B. To bring your own spin, right? Because the D for me is the planetary spin. The divine pi, the circle with the line down the middle, which is the M of co-creation, 1v1, which is the 111 that opens, which is the egg cracking open. And it looks like Pac-Man when it opens, or the golden egg. Of sonar and radio sonar, and gamma waves, where the gamma waves are basically just a slinky squished together, right? And then the radio waves are the slinky pulled out. stretched very far. Or the radio waves were coming up in the infinity symbol as the closed system, and how the X and Y are incorporated in these drawings. Time to wrap the seeds to flower, as April showers, come what may. And notice here, like the Y's, when you have this Y, you have this Y, and then the cup Y, which makes the leaves on the branch when they come together. That he is the reddish-brown base, and she is the reddish-blue violet or violin, the seed in the pollen, the semen, to trigger her cup to blossom. The brown, BYOB, blue. So it's like brown. The brown, remember the earth, spices is the blood of the earth. And then the energy of the blue rays, BYOB, brown yo, blue, or yo and red all over. Blushing from the earth to the nothingness. It was coming at the nothingness of space, nodding hill of Loch Ness, the time of Ea's earth time, of the Z of the sleeping, timed out and tied up, in space on track as track shifts, time out in space, tied up on track. And then the swirly track was coming up. So the railroad track was coming up as well. And of course the heartbeat always comes up, right? So the gamma waves are like the peak of the heartbeat, and then the radio waves are like the underlying beat. And so they were showing me the railroad tracks, right? Because railroad tracks are like DNA strands. So imagine railroad tracks like DNA strands, and they're going along. It's a partnership, right? Because you have one side of the track and the other side of the track. And if you don't stay together, aligned, then no one's getting anywhere, right? Because then the track just breaks apart and no one gets anywhere. But if the track comes to a split and we go right first, well, that's fine. But if we don't go left at the next choice point, then we're going to keep going right, which means we're going to go in a circle. So if someone's always getting their way, you're just going to keep circling around. And you need to balance. You need to go back and forth. That's the sine wave. And we're in that year of the snake of learning that feminine lesson of sharing. A railroad track is two, twisting and turning in the same direction. To stay on track, trusting they won't run you over at a choice point. The vows to align as strings or chords and keys to play in alignment and harmony. And again, confrontations coming up to not be afraid to speak your mind, even if someone might not agree with you. Finances and 30 pieces of silver, or betrayals, or something that stinks, and senses, and also the sense of the energy of that money is dirty, or a skunk that doesn't trust you, right? What happens with a skunk that doesn't trust you might spray you in the end, right? So something around here, if something stinks, pay attention. That's your discernment. The hummingbird came up after the underlying energy of the 38 frog, right? Frog has warts. And then the 52 of the Black Panther, who has spots. Even though he's black, he still has spots. The one of the eagle, and then the blank card, the 4 of the deer, the 44 of the hummingbird. As the Queen of Swords, black cat, and Pan, which is the 9D we just talked about, of the earth covered in spots. Behind the leaves, the eagle is sad, they hide from them. The panther is sad, needing their acceptance. Space for the 52, which is the Queen of Swords, and 52-1 is Area 51. So I don't know why the areas keep coming up. And then there's blank space. All right, so we have Area 51, 52, and 53 now all coming up. The 4 of Deer 1 at the crossroads of the 44 hummingbird pollinating of the angelic realms. the energy of the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords are both coming up here with areas 52 and 51 with space between them and the angelic realms. So there's something about connecting to the angelic realms. The Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Magician. So it could be a Gemini Queen of Swords. And wanting to make it all better. The Emperor with the Four of Cups and the Dear One who may be bored, grounding and integrating. Angelics grounding and integrating our lessons. As the Intergalactic Council came up, 29, the Gold and Silver Cloak of Perfect Harmony, 26, the Veils of Illusion, 25, which was that day's energy, the 26 and 25. Water, 15 of Saint Germain and the Violet Flame, 34 of Archangel Metatron, 27, the New Moon Snake Year, today after yesterday, which was the 26th here, and having drank the water in the Violet Flame, transmuting the shadow exchange to be inspired again. So again, going through the shadow, observing where you're having trouble discerning things or confronting things, allowing the time to ground and integrate before starting again, before being inspired again. The underlying energy, and Where's Waldo came up as the number 28 because all the other numbers were there. The underlying energy of the sun, the 36 world, 11 flowers, and 17 love. Sun shines on the home around the world. The union map of the collective awakening. The sun's atlas to align with flowers. Justice of truth and balance, of healing, shining, and blossoming into the star of love. And again, that intersection was coming up as well as York, because Matthias had talked about York, England, into New York had to happen. That was one of the connections with England. And urgent love needed for two birds with space between to love a dream come true as the proposal to link rings, hearts, flowers, and rings, a dream come true as the chariot gets their wish of space to be inspired or travel wishes that come true. And then I was just drawing lots of circles because I was getting, that the energy of the yin yang was coming up. I don't know what I have up here, but the energy of the yin yang, like the yin yang symbol without my circles in there, right? Which looks like a whale, but I wasn't just getting that. I was getting like here, this the feminine energy of the butterfly with this kind of X, and this kind of X was coming up as the eggs, and this is the masculine energy of the cup, and then the Y that goes like that. So there's all that kind of energy coming together. Not sure how it was piecing together. Mickey Mouse came up, the Mickey Mouse ears, the smaller circles attached to the bigger circle. And now that I think of it, there is something in physics. It's a picture of bigger circles with smaller circles, but they're all different size smaller circles, and I don't know the theory behind it, but I'm just remembering that picture. And then cubes were coming up. Oh, and in Matthias's past life regression, he did bring up the cube. Follow the cube. Yeah, and I did a post on the cube with the Merkaba, because there's so much on perspective there, right? Because when you look at a cube, the side of the cube literally is the shape of a diamond because you're looking at it as a 3D perspective. And all this stuff between the Y is like a radio antenna and the people. So that was coming up in my post, where the Y energies were holding the X's were like the bones in the Merkaba and the octahedron and what do I have there? The X's were like the bones, and then the Y's were like the vessels holding the bones together. But in my picture, the Ys were like people holding the center together. And the centers were the vortices where the 4 points came together, whereas the Y points were the people holding the centers together. It was really interesting. So check that out too if you want to. And two, they keep showing me the difference between, right, Vesica Pisces, when you put the circles together, you're overlapping them a third, not a half. But the infinity is a half, right? Because the third circle in the infinity joins them halfway through. So there was a significance there. And something else that I posted, that noticed that 3 doesn't overlap. It was in that post, that technical post. The 3 doesn't overlap, but 6 circles do. And that has something to do with what I just told you about the Vesica Pisces 3 as opposed to the Infinity 3. And the Vesica Pisces 3, the triquetra, was coming up as the knot, like the Irish knot. But the Infinity with the third circle in the middle was coming up as my gnat. Like knot is K-N-O-T, and then gnat is G-N-A-T. That was coming up as unforgettable to infinity beyond. So again, we, there's so much beyond our understanding, right? With not just perception, but with our abilities as humans to understand what could possibly be out there. We can't understand what could possibly be out there. So don't put limits on what you think. There are no limits. We're infinite, and what's out there is infinite. So try not to put limits on what your belief systems are, right? Because all the inventors are the ones who break the rules. So remember that. Okay. So I have one more. Yep, just one more message of the day. That was a cool one too. Yeah, so this is the like the Ys holding the X together in the center. You see all the people coming together as a circle. I posted polarity. And then this one is, again, the medicine deck Ascension, past life, same decks, but I just did a new read. Okay, just pulling one card. And this was on the 28th, and this will be the last read. They were pulled at, 3 of them were pulled right at 12 o'clock noon, and then one at 12:01, the last one. They were the underlying energy of the 7 skunk, 49 of ascended master retreats, the underlying energy of finances, and then the underlying energy of 27 proposal. The cards that came out were 11 Moose, 42 Lord Kamika, Lessons and Blessings, and 21 Moon. The Chariot key to get their wish, satisfaction of finances, a new passionate proposal perhaps. Perhaps Stinky with black and white stripes walks with ascended masters, as Cancer and Sagittarius energies are here, and a vow to get creative with finances and link in. A financial proposal regarding Stinky, or perhaps offering to pay to get them cleaned up. As the justice and alignment for the Moose here, with the 2 of Cups and 1-1, Bullwinkle energy was coming up, as the brown energy, whereas the skunk is black and white, right? But 2 perspectives of kind of the same thing. And of course, Rocky and Bullwinkle were coming up, as Rocky, Bullwinkle brown and Rocky both black and white, where, Rocky's not a skunk, but Rocky's coming up as a skunk here. One more grounded or blended or integrated, one with trouble integrating their separate parts, or shafted versus shifted. Bullwinkle, Lord Kamika, 8th ray of purification coming up here with communication and enlightenment, and breathing in the blue topaz of acceptance, unconditional love, and personal responsibility. Call on Kamika for support 1-1. The skunk is very satisfied with themselves and can offer an offer perhaps that's too good to refuse, as Bullwinkle's 1-1 with lessons and blessings of time is money, so to contribute, if not money, time and effort. At 151:19 again, the magical King of Swords sun, and I posted this too, right, because 1:51:19 to 2 o'clock is 8:41 before the 2. The strength of the dance, or infinite minutes, or minutes, those things very small, before the 41 of the Holy Grail, seconds, second comings, as the N and the S were coming up here of Christos Sophia, the infinite quantum of B4, which capital B is 13, 1, 3, 4 of the Holy Grail, God's rail, that you must go tiny before holy on God's rail, a ray leap, the speed of light or magical train or terrain, the crossroads of urgent rain. And when I went to post this, I went to write love rain on me, and it said, what did it say? Shoot, I forget now. You have to read it. It was interesting what popped up right there. And then the platonic, the solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and Beck condensate came up. So instead of 20 and back, plasma and Beck were coming up at 12:50, which is the Hanging Man and the Ten of Cups, to liquefy, and disappear and quantify the condensate, the condensate, the co-N-E-N-S-E, which is the Christos Sophia energy, and their two temples. The E represents the temple in Sumerian. Again, this was under polarity. And the number 134 came up, which listed December. DMT, Erin, Mankind, Rod, Doom, Mood, Shame, and Branch came up. And Dark Maga, I'm not sure if it's MAGA or not, but that you can look that up, 134. Judas's Betrayal at 3:30, and Time Traveler's Wife. The 30 pieces grows over time, a bridge of gold coins, with best friend and partner. A moment in time where 21 moon is escorted by the stars, Pisces and Cancer, where the world is the earth and the moon escorted by the sun and its rays. It's like it's boys, you know. A proposal to link in as partners in crime, or daughter and two sons. Perhaps getting all cleaned up and ready to propose, to connect Bullwinkle, enlightened by the man in the moon, and the cow that jumped over the moon. How'd they get in there and over that, they ask. With Libra and Pisces 1-1, leaving space for Pisces to get ready, as the moon and the central sun with space to walk away and go within, romancing the sun within. The number 142 came up with Hashim, H-A-S-H-E-M, Health, El Shaddai, Regina, Match, French, Fip Fap, Rico, Hiller, Citadel, Colin, Raquel, R-A-C-H-E-L-L-E, and Comedian all came up. And the 27th entry was interesting, which was Bellingham, which my brother lived there for a couple of years, but they just moved to California. They don't live there anymore. So I found it interesting that Bellingham came up. You know, it's a small town, which was the 27th entry. 29th entry was Gore, 35 was Coder, and 38 was God Ray. The key of 2, the vehicle of alignment. 711 came up there. And justice of 1-1. The 42 has been coming up a lot, with time to come full circle. 121, I looked up, begin again came up as the 41st entry, which again is the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. 151 came up as Decoder, the first entry. The 24th entry was Ganesh, and 27 was the Eagle. Justice of the 1-1 lessons and blessings for the world and the moon, or mother and daughter. And then I broke down Bellingham to be aligned in God's 1-1 instead of I am, 1-1 am. The I's am. I am. So I, the capital letter M, and then we, the capital letter R. We co-create, exist. We reach out to bring others into alignment. Back to me to share. And again, I was getting the Rolling Stone is the letter E all in the 4 different positions, right? So it becomes the E and then M, but it's not the M, right? Because it's flat on top. And then it becomes the 3, or there exists, the opposite of E. And then the W, which isn't a W either because it's a flat line at the bottom, which is the Sha symbol. So, but when you take the capital letter E, the squared E, and they're all back to back, it makes the picture of the sun. But when all the E's come together, it's the gift within. So that was an important visual as well. And again, having to do with east and west and north and south when seeing from their perspective. You see the sun. You see the sun. They see the gift within. Right? So you see the sun without. They see the gift within. And east is west when seeing from their perspective. Right? So if you're not looking from your perspective and you're looking at them from their perspective, then east becomes west, right? Because you're seeing from their perspective. So just bringing in perspective again. And then, yeah. But yeah, so I posted my meditation from the night of the 28th, which was cinnamon. And that was interesting because Nelson Mandela came up as Nellie and JC. Like, so the fish and Nellie, so there, and again, watch that one. It has Nelson Mandela speaking. And then, like I said, the one from today, I posted as well with Miko. I kind of want to read that one to you because, you know, you may read it differently than me. So let me read you my version, and then you can see how it differs from yours. Just get in there. Okay. So this was the mother's message from last night from Himiko, Queen Himiko. And I used Arabic, Kokborok, Japanese, Tamil, and Hausa. Or a couple were Hausa. It's mostly Arab. I usually use Arabic, Kokborok, and Japanese because for my translation, my messages, those are the languages that always translate everything. Because usually you'll get nothing if it's not the right language. And so I added Tamil for whatever reason here, and Hausa came up in the, but just naturally came up when I was translating. So this was the message. To put peace, the hill, on the way up. Track for me, a fellow llama. And the sun's here. The difference. I was really getting the energy of, you know, when the sun finally comes out. And go right, I don't care. What is your name? I don't know anything. And the children are. What time is it? It's morning and thin. And I'm sorry for both of you. The difference is insane. So she's going back to, again, appreciating how good the sun feels. The difference is in the devil. Where did he go? I'm sick of you. What time is it? In the morning. The difference is insane. A sacrament, a sacral man with beard, backbone, refined and all. On the way up, the slope to the demon. The colleague, fellow layman, which that word translates as lemon. Page, body, aman, for whom secure with slander. Whereas up the street, water carrier, my way, to release and peace. Morning is the devil, be careful, I am confused. But the carpenter, ashy feet, foot or demon. But I do words, grammar, silver, call me, talk to me. To the devil, I do color, squid, banana, and time. Feet call me, but the carpenter, you are my friend. A calming word, morning, I hope you are. I hope it's not like this. Can you move? The path of life, to shake walking stick. The path of life, I ask why. You are the one who moves, because it's like she wants to be moved. She wants to be here in her garden again. Peace and quiet, bag, seaweed. Ask me, shake it up, as reasonable as possible. As Red I, referring to her as Japanese, trust me as Lady of Peace, safe ground, less wishful thinking, Our Lady of Red, food, mind, reason, as a child. And that's when I clicked in right there that it was Himiko. Ah, Red Aman, safety and mercy, as a pencil that you can erase, as talk to me, as wide as possible. I am confused. And she's asked you saying maybe I didn't ask her enough specific information. I am confused, not enough. Morning is the devil. Be careful. Ashi Kalamani. Feet of calamari is like water to the plant. Kala is castle. Mani, peanut, sperm, egg cell, money, and rain to expand. Kalam is the people, country, and the pen. Ani, their eyes, their harvest, their sky, their honey, and water and fruit. To belong, to be a member. I like it. I am a thing. What did he say? I don't know anything. I'm like a mother. I have a word. And what she was referring to is she's a child who has a say because she is the queen, but she doesn't see herself as a queen. She sees herself as a child who has a say in things. I do everything. Something talked to me. So that's how she ended it. It's like, someone reached out to talk to me. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm responding. So it was a pretty cool message. Okay, guys, I know that's long enough. We're at 2.5 hours. So remember to breathe and drink good water and go outside and ground yourself. We've had some beautiful, nice days after a lot of snow and very cold days. So it's been really beautiful. Today was a nice day. And remember, as always, rise and be loved. I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing week. Bye, guys.